All right, what's on the bench? It's a book, Optoelectronics Fiber Optics Applications Manual, hardbound, by the Hewlett-Packard Optoelectronics Division. Yes, and I know all these people: Stan Gage, Dave Evans, Mark Hodapp, Hans Sorensen, Dick Jamison, Bob Cruz. Yeah, I knew all these people. This was published back in 1977. I joined the company in 1980 into the same group. So this second edition came out in 1981, so I was there when this book came out. It's a big fat book. You can still find it used. I had an original and it disappeared, so I bought this at Thrift Books. I forget what I paid for it. Not much. But I was poking around in here. I thought I'd get some ideas for the channel in this book. It's kind of old, but it's kind of fun. I found a circuit that I thought was kind of weird. Let's see here. Let's focus on it. All right, so it was this one here. Can you? Let's see here. Can I move my tripod? Here we go. There we go. Okay, it was this one. It's just a current source, but instead of putting the LED in just in series with the whole thing, they put it in one leg. Okay, so that sort of makes it a little more accurate than. So the way these things work is that there's a base to emitter voltage of about 0.6 ohms, 0.6 volts. And when you put a resistor across that, you end up with a certain amount of current, okay? So, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting a 30 ohm resistor here. So 30 ohms into 0.6 volts gives you about 20 milliamps. And so you should have about 20 milliamps running through this thing. And yeah, so it should set up 20 milliamps going through that resistor, and it's being fed this way, so there should be 20 milliamps going through this string here, right? And then there's some extra current over this way that you don't really care about, so you really kind of care about this side of it. So I hooked that up, and I got some weird results, and then I hooked something else up, and I got some weird results. So that's the story of the day is weird results. What happens when you get weird results and you can't figure out what's going on? So let's go ahead and do that. So I have two circuits here, okay, and let me turn this circuit back on. Let me put here we go. So this circuit here is the one I just showed you in the book. It's got the current source, and the LED is in the middle on the right-hand leg, okay? This is an identical current source, but the LED is just referenced to ground, so it's everything combined, okay? And so this one's much easier to understand, because it's just the two transistor current source. I think I've talked about this before. And it lights up, and you say, okay, it looks pretty good. So how do you know how much current is actually going through there? Well, you can measure it. But one quick way to do it is to go over and look at your power supply, okay? So my power supply is saying 25 milliamps. And so the only thing that is hooked up on my breadboard is that circuit, and that whole circuit's drawing 25 milliamps, so I'm assuming 25 milliamp is going through the LED because everything goes through the LED, right? Okay, great. Let's do it a different way, though. Let's take out a current meter. Okay, so I'll bring out this, turn it on. Okay, I have it set to milliamps, and I'm going to remove the LED, okay? And then I'm going to, let's see here, I'm going to take our, get this out of the way, sorry. Everything is tangled up. If you've ever done electronics, you know the things just always are tangling up. Okay, so I'm going to take this current source, and I'm going to put it right where the LED was, okay? So it now is going to be where the LED was. Put that in here, okay? And you can take a look at that. And I think you can see that. Maybe let me do just a little bit. There we go. It's 25 milliamps, okay? Great. And so poking around on the circuit and everything, I said, okay, everything looks fine there. All right, let me put the LED back in. And okay. Okay, so now let's go over to the other circuit. Okay, this is the one where it's sort of in the middle. Okay, the LED's in the middle. So let's disconnect this one and we'll enable this one over here. Okay, so now all of the current's going through that LED. It's again a 30 ohm resistor. It's identical circuits, it's just this one was outside of the circuit, this one is in the middle of the circuit, okay? So we go back over to our power supply and it says 24 milliamps, exactly the same. Everything's great, everything looks good, all right? So we come over here and we say, okay, well, we want to measure it more accurately. So we're going to take out the LED and we're going to take our milliamp meter and we're going to put it in circuit, okay? And then we're going to read it. And it says 13 milliamps. What? 13 milliamps. Okay, that's not right. All right, that's not right. Let's put it in the other way. We'll turn it around. Oh, there we go. Wait a minute. 28 milliamps. Wait a minute. That can't be right. Oh, wait a minute. 25. Okay. Oh, there it goes. Now it's measuring about right. So it's fluctuating, right? And you figure, okay, I have a bad connection on my proto board and everything. Everything looks kind of weird, right? All right, so let's disconnect this. Getting weird results. Doesn't make any sense. Let's put our LED back in. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to hook up an oscilloscope. And we're going to take a look at the circuit and the oscilloscope. So I'm just going to take a look at the voltage going through the LED. And everything's looking good. And okay, everything still looks good. All right. All right. So let's disconnect the LED. So we're going to do another trick. Okay. We're going to put the current meter across the LED. Now the current meter's impedance is going to be very, very low, just less than an ohm, right? And so the LED is going to turn off, okay, because all the current's going to be going through our, everything's going to be going through our current meter. And it's kind of weird. It's not making sense. So let me see if we can't probe it with our oscilloscope. Let me put the oscilloscope on there, and yeah, it's just fluctuating. It just doesn't look quite right. But look over here on the oscilloscope, we now see that it's actually oscillating. The current source is actually oscillating, so it's not stable. And because it's an AC signal, our DC ammeter is giving us weird results. It can be actually lower, like now it's like lower than it really is, or it can actually be higher than it really is. I remember measuring it once and I was measuring 58 milliamps and I went, well, that can't be right. That can't be right. All right, let's swap the leads around here. Yeah, look at that. Oh, did you see it? Did you see it was measuring 78 milli? It was measuring. Let's change the range. Let's lock the range down. Okay, so there's a range lockdown. Did you see it fluctuate? All right, let's disconnect it or reconnect it. There we go. It goes up to like 80 milliamps. There we go. 90 milliamps. 34, 36 milliamps. But that never changes. It's always 21 milliamps no matter what. So it's just this weird, business of it oscillating because you have an ammeter in there. I don't think I've ever seen that before. You can see that we're up here at 78 milliamps because it's that waveform. But over there, we're still measuring 20 milliamps of 20 milliamps of DC current. So yeah, weird business, probing around. Something I didn't expect. And yeah, I didn't expect it, right? It's 80 90 milliamps, but it's not. It's only 20 milliamps. But it's because of that stupid oscillation. All right, so what happens when you have an oscillation, okay? You stick in a capacitor and fix it. Let's see if we can stick in a capacitor and fix it. Let's see here, let's put in a capacitor. Oh, I don't know, let's stick it in right here. Let's stick it in right there and see if that fixes it. Oh, it got smaller. It got smaller, that's good, it got smaller. Okay, let's put the capacitor up here. Oh, there we go, fixed it. No oscillations now at all. And we're measuring 22 milliamps. Very, very nice. And we're measuring 25 milliamps over there. So in the one leg of the circuit, we're getting 22 milliamps. And then an extra 3 milliamps goes around it to the side, if you remember the schematic. And so, yeah. Let's look at that diagram again. All right, so the number of LEDs here doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have more LEDs or not. The circuit still does weird things. What I did was I put a capacitor right here on the emitter and just slowed down the feedback path. I think, this is my guess. My guess is you've got some nonlinear devices in the circuit. And so when the current is trying to feedback and settle, it sees a nonlinear device and you'll run on a slope. And so the voltage drop will run on the slope and the thing will say, oh, too much, oh, too little, too much, too little. And I think that's what's going on. Comment below. Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that circuit.